And we're going live in 3, 2, 1.
Hello, everyone. Welcome to Biz Chicks TV. This is the place where you can find tips and tools to help you do business better. We're here to help you run a profitable business that's fun to run and to take the hassle out of your hustle. And today, it is Wednesday, and we are here with the Island Girl Hustle. So before we go there, I want to introduce my co-host, Miss Francine Gregory, real estate entrepreneur and tech diva. She's down there teching for us. And then I'm Tara Lena from California Cover Ups. We're the Biz Chicks, and we want to introduce to some and present to others our co-host today, Coach Caren Fern, all the way from Toronto, Canada. Here with her Island Girl Hustle to show us how to get our money straight. And today she's going to be talking about some of the mindset traps that we set for ourselves on the journey to success. So with that, I'm going to introduce Coach Caren and let her tell you a little bit about where she's going with this subject today. How you doing, Coach?
I'm doing great. I'm doing great. Yeah, this whole month we've been talking about mindset and just giving you little tidbits of different areas where you might want to think about and go in and practice. And that's what we've really been covering. Last week we covered how to understand your money story, because your story changes over time, but some of the old residue we tend to carry with us and move us along with it. So changing becomes very, very hard. And if you're in this place right now, I want to say something. Sometimes we're just thinking about people who are broke when we talk about money story and the mindset, but it's not true. You can have a whole bunch of money and afraid to spend a dime out of it or live a certain way because of the story you've been telling yourself, which means you're afraid to lose it all and all that stuff. So sometimes we get carried away with people that is poor or stuff. I was asked last week, if I could change the world, what would I want to contribute? And I said was to help people change their poor mind state, because it's a state of mind, and it's not only what's in your wallet, but it's really and truly a state of mind. Some people are only happy when they have money in their wallet or they know money's in the bank. And if they're not like that, if that's not happening, then they're sad. And that's just a poor state of mind, because the money shouldn't make you happy. You're happy and your money comes. Because you're happy, the money comes. So you're saddened because you're afraid to lose the money. So that's something, you want to keep thinking about, and not only think about the people who don't have money. Because when you do get money, you could behave the same way if you didn't take care of that state of mind. So moving on, today we're talking about how to live alone. And I was hesitant to bring this subject up, but I am going to.
We're talking about what?
How to live. I believe she said how to live alone.
Alone? Okay.
Yeah, you better learn.
Hush your mouth. Go ahead.
How to live alone. And now remember, we're talking about the mindset. And when this subject was first, brought to mind, my idea of it popped up, and I started writing about it for myself. This is a month or nearly 2 ago. I've been writing about it, and just because I do a lot of writing for myself, besides writing content for my business and stuff, just things that pop into my mind and things that I knew that my journey is gonna use it somewhere in my journey. So I am trusting. I think I've always been, but for the last year or so, I've been giving God just the glory and allowing Him to just allow me to move the way He needs me to move. So everything that inspired and come my way, even when I don't know what I'm going to do with it, it's written down. It's in my journals. It's in my notepads, and and I'm really trying hard. I still have a bunch of loose papers. Every time I want to grab a loose sheet, I said, okay, Karen, how many notebooks you have? And I grab one and put them in. I guess I do a lot of writing. So today we're talking about how to live alone. And this is not a physical live alone. This is a mental live alone. And hear me out. I really want you to understand it. I know we know that we come here and we're living alone. But for some reason, we want everybody to go along with us, self included. I remember as a little girl, and because I did a lot of things by myself, when my friends would be there, I finally used to bend over backward to be with them so that we could walk together, because I told you guys to do a lot of walking. And then one day I just look around and I said, wait, I spent half an hour waiting on this girl to catch up with me. And she is only going to go 20 minutes where I'm going. And I still got to go the rest. I remember thinking to myself, I never even said bye to her. I just walked away. And I was like, why am I waiting on her to talk about what? And like, this was my thought process. And I just walked away. And so that's part of what I'm talking about when I said how to learn to live alone. It's important. It's one of the biggest things that we don't even realize we're doing. And when I catch myself doing it, I have to remind you. Because we're waiting on somebody and something to make us do this other thing. And those things, what's happening is barring us from doing it. A lady yesterday asked a question in the group. She says, I know what I have to do. I know what I should do, but I don't do it. Why? Why don't I do it? And nobody's answering the question. Everybody's talking about their own stuff. Everybody's not answering that question. And I said, well, you're doing it because it's home. That's what it's home. I'm sure over 50% of people work at 50% of their capacity in their business. And then probably another 35 or 40 probably work at 80%. There's a 10 to maybe 5 to 10%. I'm giving it big when I said 10 to 15% of people who work 120 in their businesses. They don't. And they will give you all the excuses why they don't, or they don't know why they don't. But because it's home, that's what they're comfortable with. They love their jobs to be comfortable. I got a rude awakening for them. Being uncomfortable is what grow you, not comfort. Being uncomfortable is what grow you. The first time I blonde my hair, friends, family, my husband nearly fall off his seat because I came in blonde. I didn't tell anybody because I didn't want the discouragement. I've been through the process, and I walked through the door and I was blonde, and it's like, so when is this gonna happen? When are you gonna get over this phase? I'm not getting over this phase. This is the new phase of me. Like, I've been through a lot of colors, and it's people want to be home. So when they're not home, it's hard for them. So the reason she's not doing great and she's not doing the thing she knows she has to do because she's comfortable at home. She's comfortable probably making whatever money she was making at work. Maybe she reached out to her. Maybe she's bringing $5,000-$6,000 and she's great there. For her mind to take her to 10, it's a stretch. I mean, if you tell somebody you need $20,000 a month to live by, people freak out on you. What are you spending that on? You don't need to spend all that money. There's a lot of poor people all around. They ain't making money, they ain't giving it to the poor people, but they're telling you because you're making it. But that's because it's not because we don't want to make it, it's because we're worried that we can't even comprehend that kind of number, so it's kind of hard. So the same thing, when you learn to live alone, you're not worried about those things. You are carrying on your own life. And don't get me wrong, nothing that I talk about is dismissive of God. This is you as a human being I'm talking about. All right. So, number one, learn to live alone by being fully accountable to yourself. That's the way you learn to live. Fully accountable. You don't need a husband. You don't need your kids to act right, your grandkids to act right. If you have any of those, your brothers, your sisters, none of those people acting right has anything to do with you and who you have to. Now, I know it's hard. I'm not sitting here trying to pretend it's an easy task, but it's one of the tasks that you have to take on. And number two, gotta become a leader. And if you don't know how to do that, because lots of us have our businesses, but we don't know how to lead. That's why we don't hire people. That's what we got upset when you say, well, you need some people to come help you. Like, oh, I could do all this by myself. Like, I don't need it. Like, don't tell them. Because A, maybe you don't want them to see how much work you're not doing. And B, you actually have to give them stuff to do. So to become a leader, it's so simple. I am a leader. That's it. Walk around all day and say the words till you believe it. When you believe it, you're going to start acting like a leader. You're going to go look for resources to show you if you don't know how to become a leader. And when you're a leader and you've got your list of things to do, right away you get to parcel them up. You write what the technician will do, which is the person who's the hands-on, what the leader will do, and what the manager will do. And just make a list. Just set up a list. 3 columns. Leader, technician, and manager. And every task, give them the title. Leader, put an L. Manager, put an M. Technician, you put a T. And then watch yourself. Watch yourself. If you're not there yet, become the leader, because you start understanding the things you wouldn't do. The things you wouldn't do. I mean, every now and then, I fall off my wagon. And I want you to know that I fall off my wagon of the things I say I'm not going to do. I find myself Last week, Friday, was a testimonial to that. I could feel myself slipping when one of my employees called me, and I just wanted to go take charge, and I wanted to. And I had to come to 10, talk myself out of it, call her back, let her handle it, call her. She called me back, and I'm like, yeah, we're letting it ride over to Monday. Whatever you did is okay. You're in charge of that. It's good. You go ahead and do it. But it's hard. It was hard for me to not go in and take charge because it was a delicate situation. And yes, it needed me. But did it really need me? No. It didn't need me. I could literally know it. I knew it didn't need me, but I wanted to go in and take charge. Number 3, discriminate against any and everything that is not essential to the skill that you're developing as a leader. Discrimination is a word that we see bad. It's a bad word, right? And discriminate people, race, gender, whatever. Well, we're going to discriminate the things that you're doing. We're going to discriminate the things you're doing. We're going to do it. And we're going to make sure, it's just another word we're using. Remember, this is words we're using. But the words have power on what you do with them. So be careful on the things you want to do. So when you live alone in your head, your expectations are different. They are so different. A long time ago, my mom had said to me, because I had this bad habit of anything I want, I'm just going to fess up to it. I just call the kids to do. I would just call them to do it. And it's not like they mustn't do things, and I still make them do it. If it's things for the family and us, it's fine. But when it has anything to do with my business, they're not in the business. So why am I coming to them to do it? Because I want an easy way out. And there's times I just feel like I just want to do it. Look, yesterday evening, Petra come and she wanted to help me do something. I'm like, nope. Now you're concerned and why you touch it. This is what I'm doing. This I'm getting it. And my fiber wanted me to help her to help me do it because it would have been faster. But it's just me getting out of it. That's all it is. It's just me getting out of it. And I know how to do it. It's not something I can do. But it's just easier for me to just pass it on. So when you're living and you're understanding that part of you, and this is hard. This is hard because we know we need help. We know we need people coming in and help us. And that's true. And that's okay. But the core is what I'm talking about. Because your advisors, your subcontracting people that's working for you, nothing's wrong with that. I want to be clear on that. This is strictly about you understanding how you do things. Your level, your part, your status. If you're the CFO, you're the CFO. If you're the president, you're the president. If you're the manager, you're the manager. And you have to understand those roles and really work in those confinements. You know what happens when you do? You're not as tired. You're tired of you will need all the hours you thought you need. You suddenly got time on your hands. Oh, yeah. You're suddenly free. You got time on your hands to do all the things you've been putting off. That's the bonus part of it.
So let me get this straight. When you focus in on the thing that you're supposed to do, and whatever that is in your role, CEO, president, manager, and then you only do that, you end up with more time.
More time. And like I said, Friday, I was laughing to myself because when I let go of what I was going to do, that was going to suck up about 3 hours, maybe even 4 hours that I gained back because I held my position. I reminded myself what I was supposed to do and how it's supposed to handle and all the system I have put in place. And yes, I was going to disrupt that process because the technician in me took over and I want to go fix it. I'm not a fixer. I was going to go fix it. And there was nothing to fix because she's worked for me for, oh my God, this year probably is her 10th year. Gotta go check the books. And so she can fix it. But me, I wanted to go fix it. And it was almost like, I'm telling you guys, it's almost like I needed somebody physically to hold me back. So I had to talk to me, and then talk to me again. postponed for Monday. It was fixed Monday. She didn't. I told her to call me if anything happened. She didn't call, so I know everything is good.
Wow. So we're having to trust the processes that we set up.
And again, that is hard for us to do when, even if you're seasoned to it, if it's delicate, if it's, and in my case, it's another business of mine. So how do I, these are really great clients. We've been with them for a couple of years. One of the reasons they hire us is because the people they had before us were very, scattered, and when they show up and all that, we showed them that we're not like that and everything's fine. But still, some part of me started to feel like, I'll tell you what it felt like, we are going to be like the other people, which is not true. We're disappointing them, which is not true. We can lose this account, which is not true. But these are the things that pop into my head, which means the people who I'm hiring for this position is going to be out of a job. So all these things that start happening to me in my head. And so I have to really call myself out, with the lies. I'm like, no, it's not going to happen. And it's not going to happen. And if you have to talk to the manager, it's going to be nothing. But you want to pop in and be the technician. And, you can just, it's Friday. You can just relax if you want it on Friday. I literally just went to my bed and pull out the covers. Just like, but it's hard. It's hard. It's hard.
Wow. Living alone in your head is our topic for today. Mm-hmm. And can you review 1, 2, and 3? Or have we gotten to 3?
Yeah, I did do 3, but I'm going to go back. I come down the line and I go back up myself. So I'm going to go back to being comfortable to yourself.
Okay.
Number 1, which was number 1, because I just read through them, but I didn't necessarily go in other than, I think I went into the leader, but I didn't go into number 1. And being comfortable to yourself, it's hard. Because if you had to get up in the morning for 7 o'clock to work, you're up by 5, maybe 5:30. You get a shower. You have to go. So you have to give yourself an hour or half an hour, however long it takes you to get to work. And you're there every day. If you have to call in sick, unless you're a lazy bum and you don't care, you are worried to call in and be a no-show if you're serious about your job. You are worried that people can look at you differently. You're worried that you might be able to keep that job if you keep this up. But for whatever reason, you feel that it's okay if you didn't get up and show up for your business every single day. You feel it's okay. And lots of people feel it's okay to not show up. Or they'll say, well, I'm not a morning person. But you went to work at 7 in the morning when you had a job. Oh, I'm a night owl. Did you tell your company that you're going to only work the night shift? Because if they told you, said, I don't want to work in the night, I want to work in the day because I want my afternoons off. I want my weekends off. These are things unless you're working in, the field that I study for, then yeah, you are a shift person. But otherwise, and even then, people give up their night shift to you to get the day shift. Most people want a day shift from Monday to Friday. Very few people want to work in the weekends. I mean, doctors know they're doctors, but they're still excited when they're off on the weekends. And they're more excited when they have a day shift and they come home to their kids in the afternoon. They're excited for this. So if you're going to set up your business, I had a client earlier this year, and she was a coach. And she's not a coach anymore because she kind of wasn't getting clients, and her life was hard, and we weren't meeting our financial obligations. And once we started breaking it down, we worked for a month, to be honest with you guys, because she said it was hard. She don't know that she couldn't continue, and she's not sure if she could be a coach, because all the things that I brought up to her and we talk about and she processed through is the things that she doesn't want to do. So to stay in her field, she'd have to do X, Y, Z, A, B, C, D, E, and she wasn't doing them. So she got clients because they were referred to her. But beyond that, she wasn't hung in the streets, if you will, or the internet, or any which way you want to look at it, to gain new clients. And so money wasn't coming in because she wasn't doing the work. It was that simple. And we rustled through the whole thing. And, she decided that she should just go get a job. after this phase because she is not ready yet to put in that time. And she has to be ready. But the process helped her to see that she wasn't ready to literally do. She can do the work. She would be good at what she's coaching on, but she's not ready to put in that back work. And she has to pay her bills. So she be back out in the job work. But she get to go through that process. And so that's half of the battle of us understanding, because if you're working from home, like a friend of mine, or this year too, she said to me, Karen, you need to get an office outside. And I said to her, why? And she said, well, you're going to be more productive. I know I shouldn't, but I just cracked up in her face. I couldn't help myself. You know what was happening? She was projecting what was happening with her.
Exactly. We project our own stuff on people. So if you're having a difficult time working at home, and you may have a lot of different distractions or allow things to distract you, you're going to project that on other people.
Yeah. She's like, why are you laughing? I'm like, you're paying for an office. How often have you shown up at the office? Yeah. She got sick. She got sick within an hour of our conversation. Oh, it's physical sick. Yes, sir. She was coughing. She had to go to the washroom. Literally. I said, oh, boy. Ooh.
I think because we do not run the numbers, and we don't run the numbers because
we're scared.
We had an experience where we had more month than money or whatever our money story is. So then when we get to a place where that's no longer our money story, we still have these flashbacks.
Yes.
In here, whether we recognize them or not.
Point.
And so we don't look at the numbers, and we go over here and we're spending money, like you said, on an office that we don't use, or on a service that we don't use because somebody said you need this service or you need that. And then it's on autopilot. And
well, here's the thing, too. You think that doing all of that is going to bring the money in.
Mm-hmm.
Having the office and having the illusion of the office and the illusion of all of these things that people sell you is going to bring the money. When in fact, it's the work that you have to do to bring the money.
The trappings.
Yes.
Yeah.
The appearance.
Yes.
Oh, you know what the kids used to call it? Perpetrating.
You said that word. That's true.
Perpetrating, girl. It looks great. But you ain't made a dime. And you are paying for this stuff out of your pocket.
Right.
Yes.
It is not cute.
Yes.
And
yes. So you gotta be, number one, you gotta really be accountable to yourself. And that sounds to people like a lot, but you've been doing it for work and you don't even pay attention you've been doing it for work because you haven't written it down. Somebody write you a paycheck, so you didn't care. But now it's you have to write you a paycheck. So you gotta get up in the morning. And I don't care if you tell me I don't pray. Go pray. I don't meditate. Go sit quietly. That's meditation. And focus on one thing. That's what meditation is about. Focusing. That's all it is. I don't care who else you call it, but it's just focusing. That's what meditation is. Just centering yourself, being one with yourself, living alone in your head, and just being present in that moment, which means you have to shed away every other thought that is bombarding you. And if you are at a place where you can't, you probably need to sit next to you with a pen and paper, and every thought that comes, write it down. Every single thought, just dump, so you can empty you out. Maybe it'll take you 3 days, maybe it'll take you 3 weeks to dump because you're so actively activated in your head, and I am ridiculous. So, because of that, you might have to do a lot of dumping. But then get centered. Because when you're centered and you start focusing, when you get quiet enough, you will learn some things about yourself you don't like, that you like, and that you're maybe in the middle of. That's okay. Nobody has seen you learning this stuff. It's just you learning about this stuff. Don't be worried about it. But it allows you to understand you as the person so that you can do good in your business. This is the most scary part. And that's the people don't like courses. Like a lot of people don't like courses that I offer because it really makes you find you and look inside of you. Elizabeth something, she's in a group of mine. We did some This lady had a show. We all were in it together. And that's one of the things she was saying, you know, in a minute, she started looking after herself because she was complaining and whining. I remember seeing her whining posters that didn't get her anywhere. And then she got sick because she was expecting somebody to help her. And it's not because she didn't need a coach, you know, and not because she didn't need outside help, but she first had to help herself then to find the right person to help her. Because when you don't do that for you, it's kind of hard to explain the help you need and for the person to come in and help you. And that's where you need to find you in your head. You need to find out what makes you tick, like how upset you get. Like, for instance, let's talk a little bit of money, even though it's mindset I'm talking about. Let's talk a little bit about money. If you have never saved and you now start to save, your brain is going to tell you why that $100 that you put away could be used for something else. And it's going to remind you every single day until you pull it out so you can be back in your struggle bus again to put back in $100. That's what it does. Now, you're going to have to tell it that you're not moving the $100. And you don't care if the light is coming off, the $100 is not coming out, because if you need the $100 to keep on your life, you better tell me, brain, what I need to do to bring in the $100. And it'll quiet. Now, it'll remind you by Friday again, but you're going to have to tell it again. And your job from Monday to Thursday is to find the $100. And I don't care if you go sell whatever you need to sell, but you need to find that $100 so that you don't go to the bank. When you put the second 100 in, oh, it's going to let you know, boy, you've never had $200 in the bank. This is a good time for us to go to the movies, maybe in a new dress. What about the shoes we've been watching at? Girl, if you wear that shoes and that dress, I can't tell you how great you're going to look. You know, that's just $100. This is just your mind is going up. Here's the other part. If you took that $200 and you were to put it in just a high interest saving account, your mind is going to secure you only making 2 or 3%. You could have invested that in other things, but you haven't built up the stamina yet, so you don't know how it feels. Keep your money there. Keep it there. And then when you understand and research certain things, you could go into the stock and different things. Don't do it until you understand you. Nobody can invest for you, Greek, unless you know you. How you feel, how it hurts, how you panic, how you react. How could you be more proactive instead of reactive with your money? Those are the things you learn with your money story. Those are the things you learn when you live alone yourself, because you have to deal with you. And all that combined allow you to be accountable for yourself. You know what time you want to start your work. Don't work people who say, I get up at 5 and I start work at 6. If you're a 10 o'clock worker, you have to work at 10, finish at 6. That's your 8 hours. And work for the 8 hours. I usually like to tell people, work 6 hours and study the other 2. Don't work 8, because when your brain is thinking it has to work 8 hours, it starts thinking about a job. If you're going business, a job, you just think the job so you can finish up in the 8 hours and go back home and do nothing. So your mind is not being creative anymore. You're not allowing a creative space. You're not allowing yourself to just be like, you know, I'm a music girl and I need to dance a little bit and read a little bit and do all those little things that makes me feel really good. Or dream. I'm a dreamer. I got my chair that I sit in and just dream about all the great things I could do or wish I could do. Some of them ain't gonna happen, but it makes me feel really great when I'm finished with my dream. I can get up and I'm happy again, especially if I'm having a little sour spot. Whatever you need to do. So you want to give yourself room for that. Now, if you know start your business and you need to put in 10 to 12 hours a day, and I understand that, still section it out. And do what I said initially. Get those 3 columns going. And when you're working as a technician, understand that's your job and you're building your business. When you're working as the manager, understand the work that you're doing as a manager that you're going to pass down to the technician eventually. And when you're the leader now, you have to govern over both of those people and what your role is going to look like. So that's your dreaming time, right? You get to dream about how creative you're going to be and what you're going to do. Can you imagine you're not accountable to yourself and you're the leader? Everybody's coming in late. Nobody's showing up. Nobody's getting anything done. And hey, hello, I know depression is real, but people with depression, sorry, forgive me, God, but lots of them like to use it as a crutch. It's not like it's not true. But even when there's a little bit of life happening, they're just used to being in that dumb place. Because the people who, I heard this on the radio, the psychiatrist was saying, the people who is depressed, but wants to get out of depression, anytime they have a clear window glass, you get to see the real them shine through what they're going to do. And the people who want to stay where they are, when that clarity happens, they do nothing. And it tells you, if you paid attention to them, if you don't care about your money, then you don't care. But he said he's one of those people who care. So once you see him up to 2 years and you're not doing any better, he moves you out. You can't come see him again. He just wouldn't see you because he said you have been there way too long. And him is just part of your comfort zone. And he's not a pillow, and he's not looking to help.
I am not a pillow.
I like that.
He had me cracking up. I thought he was so funny. So you gotta be accountable for yourself. Know the sections you need to work in. And have your being accountable also means you have a timeline on it, right? We talk about SMART goals. Having a timeline on it. You know, for the next 30 days, I want to have 1,000 people on my email list. Here's the activities to gain that 1,000 people. When they come in, here's what I'm going to do with them. This is boring stuff that nobody wants to do. So what are 1,000 people? I'm going to use Pinterest. I'm going to use Instagram. I'm going to use Facebook. I'm going to use Twitter. I'm going to only pick 2 of those, or I'm going to just focus on whatever your area is. You focus on that area. Now, are you going to look at the others? Of course you're going to, but you're not going to spend a lot of time with them because maybe just 1 or 2 is for you. And whatever activities are, you're going to have to list it. And that may take you all 8 hours and you make no money that day. But guess what? It's done. It's done. It's done. It's done. Let's say it take you 2 days, but it's done. I'm going to do a webinar. I'm going to do a challenge. Whatever you say you're going to do, every time you say you're going to do it, the old fiber in your being is going to say no. So you need somebody to come in and help you. But you can't bring in anybody at that moment because you haven't figured out what you're going to do. So can you imagine you bring in a VA and you says, okay, I want to sell this job. And she says, okay, well, let's do it. So what are your challenge going to be about? You're like, nothing. You got nothing because you haven't sorted you yet. What is VA supposed to do?
And so this is what happens when you're in a situation like that. You end up paying the VA to brainstorm with you about what your process is.
Yes.
Really?
And see, now that is okay because sometimes you need somebody to bounce stuff off so you know how stuff works. Because you, Terry, always tell us we're verbal processors. So if you're paying the VA to do that, that's fine. But that shouldn't
task.
Yes, but that should not. I was going to say that you shouldn't end right there. Now that you verbally process that because you got it off your chest and you were able to see something because you had to explain it to somebody else. You got that part done now. Now you have to teach the VA what you want her to do in each one of those parts, or him. Not going to say that the guys can't do it, but
because we got the guys.
But you want to teach them what you need them to do. But you haven't gone back after the brainstorm and sat down and figured out, oh, I really didn't understand that this and this and this and this happened, because you haven't analyzed, you haven't tested out your system for yourself.
Yeah, and then what happens is they find a new VA or a new person, and they do the same thing again, and they do it on and on again. And next thing you know, the week is over. And then nothing gets done. And that's because you haven't spent time with you figuring out, I know these people are important, but you need to know and understand you. Maybe the mirror will help you a little bit before you talk to them, even though they'll help you.
Right.
Well, the question is, can I really, as the VA, I come in, can I really tell you what to do with your business? You need to at least have something in mind. And you need to at least know that the purpose of the VA coming in is to brainstorm. But if you're bringing them in thinking they're going to
fix it.
Yes.
No.
You're doing an assignment and you have no idea what the assignment is because you haven't thought it through. If the assignment is to think, okay, that's one thing. But if the assignment is to do, you need to know what the process is. Like,
thank you, Terry.
Right.
Train them and instruct them is where I was going, Fran. That's
what I see. That's what I was talking about.
I can brainstorm with other business owners, or I can brainstorm, you know what I mean, with a focus group or whatever. But if I'm paying you,
I want to see you come in and do stuff.
I need to know what I'm going to have you do.
Yeah. When I'm in a brainstorming mood, I want to set up, if I want to brainstorm, then I want to get like 4 or 6 people in maybe a meetup or something where that's our purpose. I always ask, I know people probably don't like that when I used to be physical. In meetup groups, I said, what's the purpose of the group? Like I asked before I get
there. What is the agenda?
Why are we here?
Exactly. And every meeting should start with, what's the purpose? The purpose of this meeting is da 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 da. So I can make a decision. Am I staying for this meeting? You understand what I'm saying? But I maybe I'm not being clear because I don't want to sound like.
No, you were clear.
I'm trying to kidnap other people's thoughts. But I look at it this way, because I always try to paint a picture, friend, of something simple. Coach Caren runs a cleaning business. It would be like, Coach Caren, I call you up, and you come to my house, and you say, okay, what do you want us to do? I don't know, just clean. Oh, buddy.
And we've had those. We've had those. And then when you give them the bill, they're like, what did you clean? What
did you clean? And then they got a list of what you didn't clean. Well, did you clean blah? And did you clean da? And did you clean Wait a minute. When we came in, we asked you. Or we asked you before we came. You said, oh, just come.
Yeah. Exactly. We have to have that list. And what you're saying is what teach me so that when I send somebody out, they can call me and say, Caren, X, Y, and Z didn't happen. Should I go forth? Is the owner around? Yes. Put her on the phone, blah, blah, and let's clear that up right away. We will leave your house and not get it done because you're not clear.
Do you understand? Because you're not going to be a happy customer.
No.
You after I finished, then you had, I had this in mind. Really?
Well,
really?
That never made it to the surface. That's not what we're
looking after. This is the price for this, and this is the price for that. And sometimes we get up and say, the VA didn't help you do this, or the VA didn't help you do that. But you weren't clear on what the person's coming from, what kind you wanted. If you want a technical VA, and she's going to do all your technology behind the scene, then that's the kind you want. But she might not be doing the other things. Or if you use her combined package, then it's going to be more. And established VAs don't work by the hour. They work per project.
Yeah.
They understand. Now, their built-in hour is there, but they understand their worth. And now their value is so vast that they're doing per project. And one of the really things I really want people to understand, when you start running your business, stop worrying about the hourly costs. You can build it in for your own accounting purposes and bookkeeping purposes, but really work on project base. It's easier for the person who you're reaching out to accept than by the hour. People freak out in this day and age about the hour. Everybody wants to make $100 an hour, but nobody wants to pay anybody $100 per hour. They want to make it, they didn't want to pay it. That's even if their tons of money is in their pocket. This is not the money we're talking about, because sometimes people think if you're poor, that's why you don't want to pay it. Rich people don't want to pay it either. They don't want to hear by the hour. The guy came and fixed our toilet. He spent, I am not going to lie to you, it was not 50 minutes. It was $190. It wasn't half an hour. $190. The planche, whatever he did. A machine. Boom, boom, boom. Don't do this again. Tell the kids not to do that again. This is what they did. What's my cost? Oh, $190.
See, and that's what I'm saying.
The upstairs toilet for me just to make sure this is not a problem too. And he says, you're doing 2 toilets. I'll just take 100 for the upstairs toilet. But I don't know what to do. So of course I'm paying him. And I'm going to go find out.
See, and I think that by the hour stuff was passed down, because I don't know who thought that up, because I'd rather work by the project. It's going to cost you this. And like you said, my hours, I already know how long it's going to take me to do this. I've already calculated that out, and it's a flat rate. People don't freak out over flat rates.
No, it's too hard by the hour because the brain has been cultivated and trained into that thinking. And it's hard for people to comprehend, because some things in business is give and take. Some things is going to take you less time and you're going to make more money on it. Mm-hmm. And some things is going to take you more time and you're going to make less money on it. as a business owner, you need to accept that.
Right.
You can't freak out if something takes you 8 hours and you only get paid 4 hours worth, because you're going to make it back at another time.
Correct.
Facts. But sometimes you don't want to do that, especially because if you're running a business looking after only what I need per week to run my home or per month, then your focus is, I need to make $5,000 because that's what my household need. And here's the other trap in that you don't get past the 5,000 because you're just looking after that, which is present. But if you're thinking project based and beyond what is needed, but I'm back to the budgeting and the freedom plan is that when you're budgeting, you understand what you need. You know that's just the base. That's the base that you need. That doesn't mean that's where you stay. Mm-hmm. That's your base. You need to understand that's the base to go forward. Leaders, people complain. CEOs make $1 million, 1 point something million a year. What are they doing to make it? Well, some of them might have family business and they're inherit. But the most people start at the bottom, like you understand. And if they didn't understand it, they get somebody to explain it to them in the most simplest way. Most of these people are not bookkeepers and not accountants, but they understand the financial gain that they need to understand. They need to understand how much money need to be in my bank, what do you need to invest, what need to come back in the business. Those are the questions they want answered. And once you answer them, they repeat that, they retain it, and they keep applying it. So when they look at their financial statement, they're looking for a couple of things. Am I making money? How often am I making money? How is my money growing in my business? What went back into my business? All those are important things for them. About the set of the accounting book, they don't care. They just want to know the main things within that financial statement that makes sense to grow their business, cut back if they need to, and any other scenario. But again, everything still starts. Everything still starts with you. Understanding when you go for an interview, in a couple of seconds, people decide if they like you or not, even if you're qualified to the tilt. I have gotten jobs where people are more qualified than I am. And I know my personality. I gave him a job. I know the personality that gave me the job, because when the secretary left, I turned back and was asking her something. She's like, we haven't even looked at your resume. And I got the job. I went in there to get the job. Now, I was recommended. They know that we needed to have went to college or what have you. The position required that. But the rest of the stuff that was on the resume was, in comparison to what they're looking for, they knew what they're looking for. So when I got in there and the conversation was, there's your resume, they put it aside, let's talk about you. What they like to do, blah, 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 a couple of questions. And then we went into a conversation. And I think I was out there in 5 minutes. They probably called me. I didn't have a cell phone. The time I got home, there was a message. You got the job. He just didn't want to he told me when I saw him, he said, I just didn't want to offer you a job at the spot. I've never done that. So I had to breathe. He said, but you got a job from the time you left. And so when you go into an interview, you have to go in, I want the job or I don't want the job. Don't be questioning if they're going to hire me. Do I want the job? I want the job. Do I really want to work here? Do I want to spend 8 hours of my day in this atmosphere? This is a place I want to do. That's why you need to research your company. And for your client, they really want to work with this lady after what she just told me. Do I want to help her? Is she my assignment? God, are you trying to show up and let me, help this person? Because, or could I help this person? Or this is totally your job, God. Leave it alone. For some people, leave it alone.
Wow. So point number 2.
Oh Lord, I gone off talking now. Sorry, me, but Caren got carried away at times.
No, but it was good, because what you said, I wanted to make mention about the CEO part. You might need to do a training on the workings of a CEO, because a lot of people are calling themselves CEOs and they really don't know what that job entails. And they don't understand. If they understood what it was, then they can shift over from technician to CEO. Because
so number 2 it leads right into that, because number 2 is be a leader or becoming a leader and the things you need to do. And that really is a lot. Leadership is really a lot of self-examination. and understanding. You know, there's people who get position and they turn it down, and people are like, why would you turn it down? Like, you know, you're so qualified for it. Well, they don't feel they're a leader. They don't feel that they can handle that kind of responsibility, because it's a lot of responsibility to be a leader. You're working on your company. You're building this world-class thing that probably going to be, you know, start offering shares, and it's going to be a public growing company. And over a while, that's a total different story than just handling a regular company. So those are things you have to, if you don't know, you have to build yourself into that stuff. You know, if you're a leader, are you reading one book a week? Now you're probably gonna have to read 2 and then bump yourself up to 3 books a week. What are you gonna do with all that knowledge? Most of it is for self-help. It has nothing to do with what you're gonna offer somebody, but it's building you. I personally try to read 3 books a week. I read about 2. To be honest with you, I read about 2. And sometimes, some weeks it's just 1, depending on how big the book is, because sometimes I want to go in and do work in the book. So I was reading this book called, I finished it, this is the 2nd round, The E-Myth Mastery. And right now I'm doing work within the book, and that work is for myself. And you guys know I was reading a book a couple of weeks ago about sales and that sort of stuff. So I read a lot of books that is grooming me for you know, where I want to be and stuff like that. A friend was asking yesterday, you know, everybody talk about what they are. You're a coach, so you got coaching business where you are. Coaching is just a department in my company. And you have to really understand those things when you're going to run a business. I'm Island Girl Hustler, so I'm a hustler. Yeah, but everything is set up in a certain department. My company is registered as a NERCA, period. And I hadn't incorporated, it's going to be incorporated. And NERCA, because of my name, I just turn it around. So it's easy to do. And so everything falls under that. Everything, the umbrella, the registration, everything falls under NERCA, just different departments of it. So when people ask for NERCA Cleaning Services and the rest, that's why we brand and put everything in their own names. But they're in there, they're packaged under there, they're set up. You need a lawyer to go figure this stuff out. So don't take what I'm telling you, take it with a grain of salt, go find out for yourself. Because wherever you are, whichever state, whatever country, everything's different. But those are things you want to know. You want to know your company name. You want to know where it stems on there and why you're doing all these things. With legacy building, we hear all these words getting thrown around, but why are you doing it? How are you doing it? And making sure you do it legally, properly. So tax man is not running behind you. The people, if you employ them, you pay the people, you know, on time and having all these things. A whole bunch of other things that I'm not going to talk about today, but all those things you want to know and have going for you. And there's times I name something and I'm testing it out and I'm selling and watching to see if it's worth my while. And before I include it, because I am not going to pay, I'm not one to pay for stuff. And then, no, I test, I figure out, and if it's worthy, then it gets stuck in there. If not, I put it to the side. It might be a little vain, but it's not in the whole realm of things. So, you know, it seems crazy sometimes to be doing all sorts of things. Everything is run strategically through what my main goal is. It's not scattered. If you don't know, you might think it is, but it's not scattered. It's set up, it's systemized, because my brain can't handle confusion. Let me confess. Caren, cannot handle confusion. I'm not good at it. I don't want to learn to be good at it. I just don't like it. So I don't handle it well. And so anytime I see confusion, my brain goes, what do I do? How do I fix it? How do I categorize it? Where does this need to go? And if it can't fit in my categories, then it gets exit out. It's just have no place with me. That's what I do with everything that, you know, entangles in what I do. So you need to know the name of your company that you're going to register it under, brand it under, and then the different departments that's within your company. And you have to be able to be such a leader that you can run with this and do the things that you need to do. And if part of your day is reading for an hour or two, then that's part of your day. Sit your butt down and read. Pen and paper, take notes, and then apply it. Take the action that is necessary for yourself, the uncomfortable action. You know, like this book is talking about a lot about what I like. So Michael is talking a lot about just sitting there with yourself and allowing the answers to come to you and writing it down and especially the uncomfortable one that you don't like. You gotta have to go through that. That's part of being a leader. Leaders are uncomfortable all the time. Talking, hiring, firing people. Even your mom, sometimes you have to say, Mom, I will talk to you at 4. I'm not talking to you at 3. If she's sick and in the hospital, course. Or, you know, she needs something, sure. But for the regular day-to-day, you would need to call your mom and say, Mom, from 4 and onward, we can chat. You got to do that. That's your mom. That's my mom. She lives right here. 5 o'clock, we'll talk. Not at 3 o'clock. It don't matter what it is, because I know it didn't go. They just tell me where your friend after the Bible study. That's it. Not really anything behind the And number 3 was discrimination. You have to be able to discriminate against any and everything. It is not essential for your skill building, your development of you, your leadership position to grow. You've got to discriminate against it. It's not of you. It got nothing to do with you. Why? Every time something is positioned in front of your face, why are you doing it? How is it going to help you grow your business? How is it going to help you grow as a person? How is it going to help you grow as a business owner, as an entrepreneur? How is it going to help you grow? And if it doesn't, leave it the hell alone. Leave it alone. Go to church on Sunday. You hear something that you can help somebody with. Leave the people alone unless you take the class somewhere. Yes, thank you, Lord, that we show up together and leave. Stop trying to fix the people in your assignment. Leave them alone. I don't know to do your business.
Oh, leave something for Jesus. Okay.
But most important, be accountable to yourself. Get up in the morning, do what you got to do, work out your work hours that you want to work. You study hours that you want to study. And then have fun along the way. Don't make this all depressing and hard. Life is hard by itself. Don't make it harder than it is.
Wow.
Hope I bring to you today.
Thank you. No, but thank you, because you got to read for where you want to be. You need to, you can't read to stay here. You need to read for the next level. And I think you brought some really good points today. Be discriminating. If it is not fitting for where you are, then you need to leave it alone. You always come and make us think, Caren.
And I'm glad that I get to do that.
Mm-hmm. So
I'm glad I get to come and do that every Wednesday. I'm so happy to be here every Wednesday. You guys and I enjoy being here and coming and chatting. I looked up at the time today. I was pretty relaxed this morning. I was like, she's at 11.
So, do you have any workshops or anything coming up? Or I know.
Yeah, I had some work that happened from Friday. Some other bigger work that happened from Friday to Monday. So I was just a little tired. It kind of relaxed me around. But I really I have a workshop. I'm going to be doing webinars the whole of October, at least once a week. I'm gearing up to do some webinars to get people in there, get people also through my pipeline. I need to just refresh my, bring on board other people through my pipeline for my building, also continue building my email list. So I'm going to be doing some webinars, and through those webinars, of course, I'm going to have offers coming out, but I intend to do at least a couple of webinars.
Okay.
Yes, I've done some sketchy, but I haven't done like the full-on webinars.
Yes.
And I know I've been hiding from them.
Well, do you have a date?
For my webinar, it starts, my paper is not with me. Put me on the spot, ladies. But today is the 26th.
Yes.
So the first webinar, I am really pushing it. I want to do it next Monday.
Okay. So when you get it, for everybody watching live and on the replay, look for the webinar in the Biz Chicks group.
Yeah, I'm going to place it.
Yes.
As soon as everything's together,
in the Biz Chicks group.
Yes.
Because
I want everything to run smoothly. So if I see if I can do it. My calendar was so full in September. I think I had one of the fullest calendars in September.
Yeah, so we want to
But it was such a learning curve. This is another set of learning curve. I got to tell you guys. This month was such a learning curve because I got a lot of referrals. So it really had just put things really, really full of the calendar, which was nice. It was nice to put it that way, but it still was a few things that I didn't necessarily expect. Worked out great, but it pushed me also. Same thing I'm talking about, you know. It pushed me. It pushed me in a way that was very uncomfortable, but very rewarding for both myself and the client. So that was a good thing.
Good.
That makes me
well, we thank you for coming in every Wednesday to enlighten us on our money mindset. And we will look forward to seeing the webinars in the group. And we will look forward to seeing you back here next Wednesday. Tomorrow, we're going to be talking about your health, because without your health,
yes,
you're probably not going to have much fun with your wealth. Friday,
yes.
We'll be talking tech. And then we'll be back again on Monday. And we just want to say thank you so much for taking the time to stop in here with us. You could have been anywhere else, but you chose to be here with us, and we appreciate it.
Yes, we definitely do.
I want to remind everybody that First Mondays is coming up. For those of you who are in the Sacramento area, we'd like you to stop by Season 52 this first Monday in October from 5 to 7, and we'd love to meet you. And for those of you who come regularly, we're looking forward to seeing you Monday. Now, I also want to say that Francine Gregory has a new book out that she has not talked about.
Yes, because it's a journal.
The Champion Journal. And so I don't have a copy, therefore I can't hold it up. Do you have a copy on your desk?
I have a copy in a bag.
It's a poor rooster that won't crow over his own hen house.
No, it's not. I don't have it. It's in the car.
Okay.
So I will talk about that later, because it's
how about tomorrow on the show?
Okay, we can talk about it tomorrow. It is a journal, and we'll talk about it tomorrow.
Okay.
Because it's in the trunk of the car. It's not. I don't even have it in the house. And there's a reason for it, because it'll be
all
coming out. Time. Yes, all in due time.
Nice, friend. Nice.
Okay, guys. So we look forward to that, and we want you to know that we do have a biz chick who's having a conference this weekend. Coach Shea, she's been on our show several times, so you need to go over there to her website and check it out.
Yep.
And with that, is there anything else before I close? Okay. If not, we want to remind you, don't forget to go to the front of your own line. And have a great day.
All right.
We'll see you tomorrow.
See you tomorrow.